All right, folks, I was just going to do a post on this, but sometimes it's easier just to do a video. You know, you got to download the pictures and then come up with a jazzy little slogan. But anyway, this is the Gen 2 Kobalt 40 volt backpack blower. All right, now it's going to come with two fours. All right, now you could buy this bare tool, and I think it's $199. Okay. Now it is 300, but you are getting two batteries and a charger for that extra $100. Okay, you're talking about a significant increase in runtime and in power with this Gen 2 version. Okay, you're looking at 135 miles per hour, 690 CFM. A lot of us have egos first generation backpack blower, right? Not bad. You know, it was the first kind of one that came out like 4 years ago. I think it had around 130 miles per hour, 600 CFM. And the runtime was pretty good, right? But not great, right? You're not doing any major commercial work or moving an abundance of leaves with that kind of power. And you really won't with this one as well. But obviously, you know, if you have a quarter acre, a third of an acre, you know, this might work. Maybe you want to get away from gas or whatever. And, you know, to have this attached to your back instead of trying to do, you know, an hour of removing leaves with a handheld, this might be a little bit more of a comfortable and pleasurable experience. All right. So 17 minutes of runtime on turbo. And another thing is a lot of people are in this Kobalt 40 volt platform, whether they have a couple of the handhelds. You know, I did deals in this 40 volt platform, you know, $129, right? They had the weed whip and a battery and a charger for $129. A couple times they had the blower for that price. So you could have a lot of batteries, you know, 34 minutes. And again, these are fours. I think their biggest battery that they have is a 6. So if you have the lawnmower, maybe you have a couple 6s, and you're getting two 4s here, I mean, you should be in pretty good shape. All right, you're talking about definitely close to 45 minutes of runtime at that with the turbo. Because let's face it, if it's got turbo, we're using it all the time. But obviously, you'll save some runtime if you don't use it. But I think the Gen 1, yeah, it's right here. And it was an 80 volt. Okay, so, you know, technically this is not a Gen 2, but it is Kobalt's second blower. And again, right, you're seeing a 40 volt. Now it is using 2, so 80 volt. But instead of using one battery, you're using 2. All right, but again, much smaller batteries. With the 40 volt, you can use kind of handhelds and other OPE tools. With the 80 volt, it's kind of tough just because the battery's so, you know, heavy. But just a real quick little video. Yeah, 149. That's 24 volt. Yeah, 139. I mean, again, you can get batteries very, very quickly in this 40 volt platform. So, yeah, 580. Let me just hit this. 580 and with one 2 amp hour battery. You know what I'm saying? So, it's, you know, basically the same watt hour wise, right? You're getting two 4s. No, actually, no. You're getting definitely a better deal with the 40 volt. Yeah, because it's a 2 amp hour. Yeah. So definitely I would go with, and this is, I think, is this bare tool too. Yeah. So again, this just goes to show you, you're not even getting a battery with this one, and they want 200. So to spend an extra 100 and to get 2 batteries, but 145 they're saying with this one. So you do to get a little bit more mile per hour with the 80 volt. But this one, yeah, it's out of stock. I think this is, I don't know what's going on with Kobalt's 80 volt platform, if they're even continuing it. Rumors I heard, and same thing with Greenworks, because I know Greenworks is kind of really investing in the 24 volt and that 60 volt Pro platform. So, but again, I was just going to do a little post on it, but this is a new, man, I hate this website. Lowe's is like the worst. All right, here it is with the batteries inserted. It looks like a real nice unit. All right, and this is the kind, another tool. We were talking about the MX a little bit yesterday, and I was very surprised by a lot of their responses, especially from a lot of them are diehard Milwaukee people, and they kind of think the same thing I do. I just don't see it working out for them with that platform. But look, you got some really nice. Trying to zoom in here. Straps on this. All right. Definitely looks like a comfortable unit. And again, you probably have a ton of these batteries if you're going to buy this. Again, if you're not in Kobalt's platform, right, and you've kind of been thinking about it, this might be one to get you in it, right? Because there's not too many companies that have these. Greenworks had one. I don't know if they're 80 volt. It's pretty much identical to Kobalt's. If you're familiar, they're basically the same. The batteries even work vice versa in those 80 volt tools. Okay. But besides Ego, right, and Ryobi, not too many companies have these backpack blowers. Obviously, DeWalt came out with one like 6 years ago that very comfortable, very well made in that 40 volt that has been discontinued. But again, not a lot of power at all. And it was kind of a heavy blower. Again, it was the first of its kind, so you got to give DeWalt little props for coming out with it first. But anyway, $300. If you're looking to buy a backpack blower, you're going to definitely spend a little bit more than this. If you want something, decent, you're going to probably spend around $350. All right. But again, you're going to have much more power, most likely. The big difference between gas and, lithium ion backpack blowers, or really handheld blowers, is not the CFM, it's the miles per hour. All right. So when you kind of combine them, that's what gives you the final result of the performance of the tool. So if you have, a low mile per hour, but a high CFM, you're moving leaves, but, it's kind of a chore. But when that miles per hour goes up and you got that high CFM, you're really moving leaves at a more, consistent level. But 135, definitely not bad, right? A lot of handhelds are around 120, 125. They probably, lie a little bit, let's be honest. And with the CFM as well. But I've seen some videos on this, and it does look like it's a pretty good backpack blower. Probably power-wise, one of the best ones you're going to see. And really only because it is the newest one. All right, now if Ego comes out with one next year, they're going to probably be at around 700 CFM. Who knows? Ryobi, They're working on it. That's why it's, unless you really want to invest in this Kobalt platform, you're kind of already in it. I think that's really what I would recommend this for. Because again, Kobalt's OPE, definitely a distant third, fourth, maybe even fifth place. In my opinion, definitely, I would probably even go a little bit further than that, only because I really like the tool. But again, you're not really going to get backpack blowers from 18-volt tools. Now, again, there's rumors of Milwaukee coming out with one. We'll have to see. But, all right, I've yapped too long. Peace.